What's up, guys? D-Rock1992 here. For this next video and for my next Marvel Cinematic Universe film review, I'm going to review the third movie that I've seen in theaters this year, in the movie theaters, and the second 2015 movie that I saw in theaters. I saw Night at the Museum 3, Secret of the Tomb in January. You can see that review on my channel, D-Rock1992. You can also see my review for Get Hard, the Will Ferrell, Kevin Hart comedy, also on that channel. So the third movie that I went to see just yesterday, as a matter of fact, went to see it the second weekend. I wanted to see it opening weekend, but that's okay. I saw it this weekend. And so that movie was Avengers: Age of Ultron. One of the biggest movies of the year, definitely. So, this one puts the Avengers at more stake than what they had in the first one. In the first Avengers, which came out in 2012. There's more stake here. There's more conflict and drama and all that sort of thing in this film. So, let's start with the returning people. Robert Downey Jr. returns as Iron Man. Chris Evans as Captain America. Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow / Natasha Romanoff. Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye. Captain America, Chris Evans as Captain America. Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk. And Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, Kobe Smulders as Maria Hill, an agent in the S.H.I.E.L.D. organization. Don Cheadle as War Machine, even though I don't think he was in the first one. I don't think he was. And some other ones as well. Newcomers. Aaron Taylor Johnson plays Quicksilver. Elizabeth Olsen plays Scarlet Witch. Apparently, those two were in the X-Men film series, in one of those X-Men movies. One of the 7 or so X-Men movies, they were in that. But now they come to the Avengers. And Paul Bettany, who actually voices Jarvis, who is Tony Stark's computer program, he comes in and he voices Jarvis, and he plays a new superhero named the Vision. And then the villain in this film, James Spader, as Ultron. As Ultron, the robot that, actually I'll get into it when I talk about the plot, but yeah, so essentially what the plot is that the Avengers have to defeat this robot experiment, this artificial intelligence robot named Ultron, who is voiced by James Spader, also motion capture as well, motion capture and voice. What happens is that the Avengers, the whole thing, the beginning of this movie is awesome. It really is. I mean, you get right into the action at the beginning. So after their latest victory, they, they're pretty happy, we're the Avengers, we're the best. Tony Stark is almost like, what if we don't need the Avengers anymore? What if we have something that can protect the world for us, in a sense? What if we have something that can guarantee a good life on Earth? He comes up with Ultron, the artificial intelligence that he hopes will better the world. Unfortunately, there's some glitches with Ultron, and Ultron ultimately is a robot who wants to exterminate the world. He wants human extinction. He wants peace, but he doesn't really want peace. He wants to exterminate the humans and build a robot empire, basically. So Robert Downey Jr. realizes he made a dumb mistake, or Tony Stark realizes he made a dumb mistake, so he and the Avengers have to team up. Now, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch are very important characters in this universe. I'm not really going to get into why, but in this film, there's a lot of discontent and a lot of fighting within from the Avengers. They're almost broken apart because of Ultron. They're almost broken apart as a unit. And it's scary. It's very scary. So the Avengers basically have to try to defeat Ultron. So, the first thing you gotta know when you're watching even the first Avengers, but especially this one, there are a lot of characters. So you get into the risk of overcrowding. Too much characters in one movie. But I heard somebody say that their big issue isn't the overcrowding, but how the characters are used within the movie. So, I think the characters were used very well in this movie, personally. There's less comedy in this movie. There's less one-liners, less comedy, but that's what this movie was made to do. It was made to be more dramatic. It was made to be more in your face. It was made to be more of a risk for the Avengers. This is ultimately a big challenge for the Avengers. And Ultron seeks to destroy the Avengers internally and externally. He does. He is that type of megalomaniacal villain in the sense. So, the characters, first off. All 6 of the Avengers were really good. I think Scarlett Johansson gives the best performance in this movie as Black Widow. I liked her. I tolerated her in other segments, And you've heard me talk about this. I'm not completely sure of Scarlett Johansson as an actress. Not completely. I don't hate her at all. But I'm not completely sure. She can be dull at times, and, maybe it's because of her husky voice. She's got a very husky voice, and that kind of has confused me a little bit, but I really do think she gives one of the best performances in this film as Black Widow. Robert Downey Jr., Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, all of the Avengers give great performances. But the one who, Don Cheadle in a small role, he gives a good performance. And Elizabeth Olsen, a big newcomer, a good newcomer to the Avengers, to this movie. She really plays a good character. But the star of the movie to me, there are two big things that I really liked about this movie. Number one, James Spader as Ultron. That was the highlight of the movie for me. The way James Spader voiced Ultron is much like James Spader's character on this show on NBC called The Blacklist, which I love. This show on The Blacklist stars James Spader as Raymond Red Reddington. So it kind of reminds me of his character. If you've watched The Blacklist and if you've seen James Spader in action in that TV show, you might draw the comparison. You might actually draw a comparison between him in The Blacklist and him voicing Ultron in Avengers: Age of Ultron. So you may do that. I think they're two very similar characters in how they talk, how they act, their acting style, things like that. I think they're very similar to each other. So he was the highlight of the film for me. He was the breakout star of this film. He was the star. The second thing that I really liked in this film was the chemistry between Bruce Banner slash the Hulk and Black Widow slash Natasha Romanoff. The chemistry between Mark Ruffalo and Scarlett Johansson is so good. And I think a big reason why Scarlett Johansson was able to deliver a great performance in this film. And it's my favorite portrayal from Scarlett Johansson as Black Widow. Just the chemistry between those two is great. You can tell in this film there is a connection between them. And this movie plays on that connection in many different ways. So I love that. I love James Spader as Ultron. I love the movie. I mean, this movie blew me away. I had big expectations for this film. After seeing Captain America Winter Soldier and Guardians of the Galaxy, which were my two favorite films in the Marvel Universe before Age of Ultron, before seeing Age of Ultron, now Age of Ultron's my favorite film in the whole cinematic universe. It really is. It's definitely... There's only one issue that I kind of have with the film, but it in no way affects my rating of the film or my thoughts about the film. Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver. I really didn't think that he was played to the best of his ability, what he could be played as. I didn't really like Aaron Taylor Johnson's performance as Quicksilver. Not really. I didn't hate it. I just didn't really like it all that much. I think his character is kind of a throwaway character, but not really, because you need him because him and Scarlet Witch, they're both twins. Elizabeth Olsen gave the clearly superior performance over Aaron Taylor Johnson. I just think that. That's my opinion, definitely. But, excuse me, so this film blew me away. It was so awesome. The action, the amazing CGI, the great action in the film, the tension, the drama. You could feel that this was a battle the Avengers were going to have a very hard time winning, basically. You could feel this, you know. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of drama, things like that. This film is awesome. I just can't say it any other way, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 stars. It's just that perfect of a movie. Other than Aaron Taylor Johnson as Quicksilver, which I did not love, I still give it a 5 out of 5 stars, even though his character was not the best in the film. Also, as I mentioned, Paul Bettany as the Vision. He was okay. I didn't love his performance. It was okay, though. But yeah, overall, Samuel L. Jackson in a small role gives a good performance. A Samuel L. Jackson-like performance. With Samuel L. Jackson, you get two Samuel L. Jacksons. The mother effer Samuel L. Jackson, who says that word quite a bit, and the wise and courageous Samuel L. Jackson. So you get two of them, and you got the wise and courageous Samuel L. Jackson in this film, which I really loved. So yeah, overall, 5 out of 5 stars. Great. James Spader knocked it out of the park as Ultron. He was the highlight of the movie for me. The connection between Banner and Black Widow, great part of the movie as well. This is a movie that was absolutely worth the money. And I believe I only paid $6 to get in there. There was a deal at the... I saw it over at the Plattsburgh Mall Theater. And I think it was only $6. So it was a good deal. It was worth the $6. If that ticket was worth $50, it'd be worth it. We probably wouldn't be seeing it if it was $50, but I wouldn't probably be seeing it, but if I did, it's worth it. I mean, this movie is freaking amazing. It really is, and it is my new favorite in the Avengers list, in the Age of Ultron, or in the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, I mean. So, the next Marvel movie is Ant-Man. Coming out, I think, in July. Paul Rudd voices Ant-Man. Michael Douglas also is in the film. So, I'm looking forward to that. And then, after Ant-Man, I'm thinking of doing this. I'm thinking of doing Ant-Man will be the 12th Marvel movie coming out. I'll rank the top 12 according to the best and the worst. The best to the worst. So I'm thinking I'll do that, definitely. But without further ado, that's it for this review on Age of Ultron. Go see it, guys. It's amazing. Yeah, it's just freaking awesome. So, that's it for this video. D-Rock 1992 out.